The metal crash echoed through Jefferson High's cafeteria like thunder. Broken wheelchair parts scattered across the linoleum floor as 17-year-old Destiny Washington lay sprawled between overturned lunch tables. Her prosthetic leg twisted at an unnatural angle. 3 senior boys stood over her, laughing, the ringleader, Colton Bradford, still holding the baseball bat he'd used to destroy her custom wheelchair worth $20,000. But what happened next when her brother walked through those cafeteria doors would become the most viral video in the school's history. Before we dive into this incredible story, I want to take just a moment to say thank you for being here. Stories like Destiny's need to be heard, and you make that possible. If this story moves you, touches your heart, or reminds you of someone who's faced similar struggles, please consider leaving a comment below. Your experiences and thoughts create a community where everyone feels less alone. And if you'd like to help us continue sharing these powerful stories of courage and justice, there's a small thanks button right beneath this video. Every contribution, no matter how small, helps us reach more people who need to hear that they're not powerless, that bullies don't always win, and that sometimes the underdogs write the best endings. Now, let's return to that cafeteria where everything changed. "Look at her crawl," Colton sneered, his Letterman jacket gleaming under the fluorescent lights. The cafeteria had gone dead silent. 200 students frozen in shock. Some held up phones, recording everything. Others looked away, too afraid to intervene. Destiny didn't cry. She'd learned long ago that tears only fed their cruelty. Instead, she dragged herself toward the largest piece of her demolished wheelchair, the control panel that her brother Phoenix had specially modified for her before his deployment to Afghanistan. "Where you going?" "Wheels." Grayson Mitchell kicked the panel out of her reach. "You won't need that anymore. Maybe you should just stay down where you belong." The third boy, Blake Harrison, dumped his chocolate milk over her head. "Oops, guess you'll need another shower. Oh wait, can you even reach the shower handles?" Destiny's hands trembled, but not from fear, from rage, pure, volcanic rage, that she'd bottled up for 3 months of systematic harassment. Being the only black disabled student at Jefferson High was hard enough. Being targeted by the mayor's son and his crew made it unbearable. Nothing to say. Colton crouched beside her, his breath reeking of energy drinks and privilege. "Come on, give us one of those inspirational speeches. Tell us how you're differently abled or whatever." She looked him dead in the eye. "You're going to regret this." He laughed. "What are you going to do, roll over my foot?" That's when the cafeteria doors exploded open. Not pushed, exploded. Like someone had hit them with a battering ram. The metal handles clanged against the walls as a figure filled the doorway. Phoenix Washington stood 6'4", 240 pounds of pure muscle earned through 3 tours in Special Forces. His dress uniform bore enough ribbons to stock a craft store. But it was his eyes that made everyone step back. Eyes that had seen real combat, real violence, real consequences. He surveyed the scene in less than 2 seconds. His sister on the floor, her destroyed wheelchair, the 3 boys standing over her, the chocolate milk in her hair. His jaw clenched so tight you could hear his teeth grinding. "Des," he said, his voice carrying across the silent cafeteria like a general addressing troops. "You hurt?" "I'm okay," she replied, still maintaining eye contact with Colton. "My chair isn't." Phoenix walked forward, not rushed, not angry, just forward, with the measured steps of someone who'd cleared buildings in Fallujah. Students parted like the Red Sea. Even teachers pressed against the walls. Colton tried to maintain his swagger. "Who the hell are you?" Phoenix didn't answer. He knelt beside his sister, his massive frame making her look even smaller. With impossible gentleness, he helped her sit up, checked her prosthetic, wiped the milk from her face with his handkerchief. "That's a $20,000 wheelchair," Destiny said quietly. "Custom controls, titanium frame. You modified it yourself before you left." "I'll build you a better one," Phoenix replied, still not looking at the boys. "Did they touch you?" "Just pushed me down after they destroyed it." Now Phoenix stood, slowly, deliberately, when he finally turned to face Colton, Grayson, and Blake. They unconsciously stepped backward. "You know what the funny thing is?" Phoenix's voice was conversational, almost friendly. "I just got back from Afghanistan yesterday. 14 months of combat. You know what kept me going, knowing my little sister was here, safe, getting her education." He picked up a piece of the wheelchair, the armrest, and examined it like an archaeologist studying an artifact. "I installed this armrest myself, programmed the pressure sensors so she could control the whole chair with minimal hand movement. Took me 3 weeks to get it right." "Look, man," Grayson started. "We were just what?" Phoenix cut him off. "Just destroying medical equipment, just assaulting a disabled person, just committing what let me think destruction of property over $5,000, aggravated assault on a person with disabilities, and conspiracy to commit a hate crime. That's before we get into the civil suits." Blake paled. "Hate crime. Only black disabled student in school. 3 white boys attack her. Yeah, that's gonna play real well with the feds." Phoenix pulled out his phone. "I'm thinking FBI might be interested. The Justice Department loves these cases." Colton tried to regain control. "My dad's the mayor. You can't—" "Your dad's the mayor?" Phoenix smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Perfect. Makes the lawsuit even better. Deep pockets. Municipal liability. I'm thinking 2 million minimum, maybe 3. He turned to the crowd. "How many of you got this on video?" Dozens of hands slowly raised. "Email them to me." He rattled off an address. "Evidence for the criminal case, and probably the news stations. I'm thinking CNN would love this. Mayor's son destroys disabled black girl's wheelchair. Has a nice ring to it." Destiny watched from the floor, a small smile playing at her lips. She knew her brother, knew he could have thrown all 3 boys through the wall without breaking a sweat. But he was doing something far more devastating. He was destroying them legally, publicly, permanently. "You can't threaten us," Colton said, but his voice cracked. "Threaten?" Phoenix looked genuinely confused. "I'm not threatening anyone. I'm stating facts. See? In the military, we call this situational assessment. You destroyed my sister's mobility device. That's a fact. You assaulted her. Also a fact. Multiple witnesses recorded it. Fact. Your father's political career is about to end. Probable fact." He walked over to the lunch line, grabbed a tray, and started loading it with food. The normalcy of the action in the middle of the tension was surreal. "What are you doing?" Blake asked. "Getting my sister lunch. She missed hers because you 3 decided to play tough guy." Phoenix balanced the tray with practiced ease. "Oh, and calling my lawyer. He loves cases like this. Clear liability, sympathetic victim, deep pockets. He's gonna buy a new boat off this one." As he walked back, he noticed Principal Coleman hovering in the doorway with 2 security guards. "Ah, Principal Coleman. Perfect timing. I assume you're here to arrest these three for assault, Coleman stuttered. Well, we need to investigate. Investigate. Phoenix set the tray down next to Destiny. 200 witnesses. Dozens of videos. What exactly needs investigating? School policy requires. School policy. Phoenix nodded thoughtfully. Let's talk about policy. How many times has my sister reported harassment to your office? Coleman's face reddened. I'll help you. 17 times in 3 months. I have copies of every report. Know what you did? Nothing. Know what that's called? Deliberate indifference. Know what that means? The school district is now liable for everything that happened today. He helped Destiny onto a bench, making sure she was comfortable before continuing. See? I spent my deployment studying. Got my paralegal certification online. Turns out, when you ignore repeated harassment of a disabled student, you violate about 6 federal laws: the Rehabilitation Act, the ADA, Title IX. If there's gender discrimination, which there is, Title VI for the racial component. You're looking at federal investigation, loss of funding, personal liability. Now, wait just a minute. Mayor Bradford's voice boomed as he strode into the cafeteria, his son smirking behind him. Nobody's suing anybody. This was just boys being boys. Phoenix turned slowly. Boys being boys, is that what you call destroying a wheelchair? I'll pay for the chair, the mayor said dismissively. Problem solved. The chair cost $20,000. Custom medical equipment. $20,000, the mayor laughed. For a wheelchair, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Destiny spoke for the first time since Phoenix arrived. That chair was my legs, my independence, my freedom. Your son didn't just break equipment. He broke my ability to navigate the world. Don't be so dramatic. The mayor waved her off. It's just a chair. That's when Phoenix's demeanor changed. The calm cracked, just slightly. Just a chair. Your son destroyed her mobility, assaulted her, humiliated her in front of the entire school. And you call it just a chair? He stood to his full height. Let me explain something. Mr. Mayor, that chair had custom pressure mapping to prevent sores. Programmable controls adapted to her limited hand mobility. Shock absorbers calibrated to her specific spinal injury. Without it, she can't attend school, can't work, can't live independently. We'll get at her a standard chair from Medical Supply. A standard chair, Phoenix laughed, but it was sharp, dangerous. She has C5, C6 incomplete injury with limited finger function. A standard chair is useless. But you don't care about that. Do you? You just want this to go away. The mayor's political smile never wavered. I'm trying to be reasonable here, son. Don't call me son. Phoenix's voice dropped to military command level. My father died serving this country. You're not fit to shine his boots. Colton stepped forward. Don't talk to my dad like that. Phoenix ignored him, focusing on the mayor. Here's what's going to happen. Your son and his friends are getting arrested. Today. You're going to pay for a new custom chair, $25,000, to include upgrades. The school is going to implement real anti-bullying policies with federal oversight. And your son is going to publicly apologize. Like hell, Colton snarled. Or, Phoenix continued, we go to the media. Every outlet. Social media. The video's already spreading. How many views you think it'll get? Million? 10 million? How's that gonna play in your re-election? He pulled out his phone. showed the screen. My commanding officer's wife runs a nonprofit for disabled veterans. She's got 3 million followers, real interested in stories about disabled people being attacked. One post from her. The mayor's smile finally faltered. You're threatening me. I'm giving you options. Door number 1. Do the right thing. Door number 2. Become nationally famous as the mayor who protected his son after he destroyed a black disabled girl's wheelchair. Your choice. This is extortion. This is consequences, Phoenix corrected. Something your sons never faced. Destiny watched the mayor's face cycle through emotions, anger, fear, calculation. She'd seen this before, the moment when powerful people realized their power had limits. I need to speak with my son privately, the mayor said stiffly. No, Phoenix's response was immediate. He speaks to the police, with a lawyer, just like any other criminal. He's 17. Old enough to swing a bat, old enough to face charges. The standoff stretched taut as piano wire. 200 students held their breath. Then, police sirens wailed in the distance, growing louder. Colton's face went white. Dad! The mayor grabbed his son's arm. Don't say anything. I'll call Patterson. Patterson's not taking your calls, Phoenix said calmly. I already retained him. Best criminal defense lawyer in the state. Conflict of interest now. It was a lie. Phoenix couldn't afford Patterson, but the mayor didn't know that. And the bluff landed perfectly. You son of a... Military intelligence. Phoenix cut him off. 8 years. You learn to think ahead. 4 police officers entered the cafeteria. The lead officer, Sergeant Martinez, surveyed the scene. We got multiple 911 calls about an assault. These 3, Phoenix pointed to Colton, Grayson, and Blake, destroyed my sister's wheelchair and assaulted her. Multiple videos of the incident. Martinez looked at Destiny on the floor, the wheelchair debris, the food in her hair. His expression hardened. Anyone need medical attention? I'm okay, Destiny said. Just need help getting to my backup chair in the nurse's office. I'll carry you, Phoenix said. No, she met his eyes. I'll crawl. Let everyone see what they did. Let them record it. Let the whole world see. And she did, slowly, painfully. She crawled across the cafeteria floor, her prosthetic leg dragging, her head held high. 200 students watched in absolute silence as she pulled herself inch by inch toward the door. Phoenix walked beside her, not helping, just protecting, making sure no one interfered with her statement. The mayor tried once more. This is unnecessary theatrics. This is truth, Phoenix said without looking at him. Your son reduced her to this. Everyone should see it. Behind them, the police were reading rights. Colton Bradford, you're under arrest for aggravated assault. Dad, Colton's voice cracked as the handcuffs clicked. The mayor was already on his phone, barking at someone about lawyers and bail. As Destiny reached the door, students began to clap. 1, then 5, then 50. Then the entire cafeteria erupted in applause. Whistles, cheers. She paused at the threshold, turned her head. Hey, Colton. He looked at her, tears streaming down his face. I told you you'd regret it. Phoenix scooped her up then, gentle as handling glass. As he carried her toward the nurse's office, she whispered, Think they'll actually face consequences. Oh, Des. Phoenix smiled grimly. We're just getting started. Wait till the news vans show up. Behind them, the cafeteria exploded into chaos. Students uploading videos, calling parents, posting on social media. Within minutes. Justice for Destiny was trending, but in the nurse's office, as Phoenix helped her into her backup chair, old, manual. Basic Destiny finally let her mask slip. They broke it. Phoenix. They broke the chair you made me. He knelt before her. This giant warrior who'd faced Taliban fighters and IED fields, and his eyes filled with tears. I'll build you a better one. Titanium frame, carbon fiber wheels, AI-assisted controls. It'll be a tank. She laughed through her own tears. A tank? Bulletproof if you want. Let's see them try to break that. Outside, they could hear the commotion. Reporters arriving. Parents demanding answers. The mayor shouting about lawsuits. Phoenix. Yeah. Thank you for not hitting them. He grinned. Who says I'm not going to just need to do this legal stuff first? Then maybe some sparring practice at the gym. Accidents happen. Phoenix. Kidding, mostly. A knock at the door interrupted them. Principal Coleman entered, looking haggard. Ms. Washington, I owe you an apology. Those reports you filed, I should have. 17 reports, Destiny said coldly. 17 times I asked for help. I know. I've failed you. The school failed you. If you're willing, I'd like to discuss how we can ensure this never happens again. Phoenix stood. You can discuss it with our attorney. Des, ready to go home. Actually, she said, steel in her voice, I have AP History next period. I'm not missing it because of them. Coleman blinked. After everything that just, you want to stay. They took my chair. They took my dignity. They're not taking my education. She looked at Phoenix. Will you stay just for today? He checked his watch. I've got nowhere else to be. Besides, might be fun to see how many more of these entitled punks need attitude adjustments. As they left the nurse's office, Destiny rolling slowly in her backup chair with Phoenix walking beside her like a bodyguard. Students lined the hallways. Some whispered apologies for not helping. Others offered support. A few asked for selfies with Phoenix, which he politely declined. Ms. Washington. A freshman girl ran up, nearly in tears. I'm so sorry I didn't help. I was scared, but that's no excuse. If you need anything, help getting to classes or carrying books or... Destiny smiled. What's your name? Trinity. Trinity Morrison. Thank you. Trinity, that means a lot. As they continued down the hall, Phoenix noticed something. Des, look, every few feet, students were putting up printed signs. Justice for Destiny. Bullying stops here. Protect all students. Destiny strong. Seems you started something, he murmured. No, she corrected. They started it when they swung that bat. I'm just finishing it. They reached her AP History class. Ms. Chen stood at the door, tears in her eyes. Destiny, I had no idea it was this bad. I'm so sorry. It's okay, Ms. Chen. Can my brother audit today's class? Of course, we're covering the civil rights movement. Seems appropriate. As they entered, every student stood and applauded. Destiny felt her cheeks burn, but held her head high. Phoenix helped her to her specially modified desk, one of the few accommodations the school had actually provided. Before we begin, Ms. Chen announced, I want to address what happened. What you all witnessed today wasn't just bullying. It was a hate crime. It was ableism. It was racism. And it was wrong. A student raised his hand. Ms. Chen. What can we do to help? Good question. Ethan, what do you all think? The discussion that followed was unlike any class Destiny had experienced. Students suggested everything from fundraisers for a new chair to school-wide sensitivity training to a petition for Colton's expulsion. Phoenix sat in the back, watching his sister engage with her classmates. She was brilliant, articulate, passionate. The girl who'd crawled across the cafeteria floor was now leading a movement. His phone buzzed. A text from his army buddy, who worked at CNN. Dude, is this your sister? Video has 2 million views already. My producer wants an interview. He showed Destiny. She read it and smiled. Tell them yes, but not until after Colton's arraignment. I want him to see it from jail. As Ms. Chen began the lesson on Rosa Parks, Destiny couldn't help but see the parallel. Sometimes you had to refuse to give up your seat. Sometimes you had to crawl across a cafeteria floor. Sometimes you had to make the world see. Her backup wheelchair was uncomfortable. Her prosthetic was sore. Her hair still smelled faintly of chocolate milk. But she'd never felt more powerful. Because tomorrow, when Colton Bradford woke up in juvenile detention, when Mayor Bradford faced reporters asking about his son's hate crime, when Jefferson High implemented real changes, that's when the real victory would come. Phoenix caught her eye and winked. She winked back. The Washington siblings had learned long ago, you don't need working legs to stand tall. You just need the courage to never stay down. Outside, news vans multiplied. Justice. For Destiny climbed to #1 trending, and somewhere across town. 3 boys sat in separate holding cells, finally learning what consequences felt like. But that was just the beginning. The holding cell at Jefferson County Juvenile Detention smelled like bleach and desperation. Colton Bradford sat on the metal bench, his Letterman jacket now property of evidence lockup, wearing orange scrubs that made his skin look sickly. His father's lawyers had been there twice already, but bail wouldn't be set until morning. Bradford, a guard called. Visitor. Colton expected his mother. Instead, Grayson Mitchell shuffled in, sporting a black eye and split lip. What happened to your face? Grayson wouldn't meet his eyes. My sister happened, when she found out what we did. Said I'm no brother of hers anymore. They sat in silence until Grayson spoke again. That video has 10 million views now. My mom lost her job at the hospital. Said they can't have someone whose son commits hate crimes working with patients. It wasn't a hate crime. Colton protested weakly. Dude, we destroyed a black disabled girl's wheelchair. What else would you call it? Before Colton could answer, the guard returned. Bradford, your lawyer's here. Says it's urgent. In the consultation room, Patterson, the lawyer Phoenix had lied about retaining, looked grim. The DA's not playing around. They're charging you as an adult. Aggravated assault. Destruction of property over 20,000. Civil rights violations. You're looking at 5 to 7 years. Years? Colton's voice cracked. For breaking a chair. For assaulting a disabled person in a hate crime. Patterson opened his folder. Plus, there's more. 17 other students have come forward with complaints about you. Apparently, Destiny Washington kept detailed records of every incident, names, dates, witnesses. She's been building a case for months. Meanwhile, at the Washington house, Destiny sat in her backup wheelchair as Phoenix worked in the garage. Camera crews from 3 major networks waited outside. But she'd made them wait. The story would be told on her terms. Try this. Phoenix attached a new control panel to the chair frame he'd been welding. I incorporated some tech from military drones, voice activation, obstacle detection, even an emergency beacon. Destiny tested the controls, and the chair responded instantly. It's perfect. Not yet. He pulled out his phone. Remember my buddy Marcus from the engineering course? He's at MIT now. We've been designing something special. The garage door opened, and Principal Coleman entered with Superintendent Walsh and 3 school board members. Without asking, they'd shown up for an emergency meeting. Ms. Washington, the superintendent began. We need to discuss. No. Destiny interrupted. You need to listen. Phoenix. Her brother pulled out a thick folder. 17 incident reports ignored. 23 witnesses who'll testify about systemic failure to protect disabled students. 4 teachers who were told to let boys be boys. 1 guidance counselor who shredded complaints. Should I continue? Coleman's face had gone pale. We had no idea it was this extensive. Lies. Destiny's voice was sharp. You knew. You all knew. You just didn't care until it went viral. Board member Harrison cleared her throat. What do you want? Change. Real change. Not press release promises. Destiny pulled out her own list. Mandatory sensitivity training for all staff. Monthly reviews of all bullying complaints. A disabled student advocate position. And Coleman's resignation. My resignation, the principal sputtered. 17 times I came to you. 17 times you did nothing. You're not fit to protect students. Now see here. She's being generous, Phoenix interjected. The criminal negligence lawsuit could name you personally. Lose your house, retirement, everything. Resignation lets you walk away clean. The room fell silent. Finally, Coleman nodded. I'll submit it Monday. Tonight, Destiny corrected, before the evening news. As the administrators left, defeated, Phoenix grinned. You're scarier than Taliban fighters. I learned from the best. The next morning, Colton's arraignment made national news. The courthouse steps were packed with protesters, media, and students from Jefferson High. Destiny arrived in her new chair. Phoenix beside her in full-dress uniform. Destiny, Destiny. Reporters shouted questions. She ignored them all until they were inside. The courtroom was standing room only. Mayor Bradford sat in the front row, his political career evaporating with each passing minute. His wife was notably absent. She'd already filed for separation. According to gossip, when Colton was brought in, shackled, he looked smaller somehow. The swagger was gone, replaced by fear. All rise, the bailiff announced. Judge Patricia Blackman, known for her stance on hate crimes, took her seat. The prosecutor, ADA Jennifer Martinez, laid out the case brutally. Your Honor, this wasn't teenage mischief. This was systematic harassment, culminating in a violent assault. The defendant destroyed a $20,000 medical device, leaving the victim unable to move independently. Objection. Colton's new lawyer, Patterson, had quit, interjected. Inflammatory language. Overruled. Continue. Ms. Martinez, we have video evidence, 17 prior complaints, and a pattern of targeting the only disabled black student at Jefferson High. We're requesting trial as an adult and no bail. The defense argued for leniency, first offense, good family, bright future. Judge Blackman wasn't moved. Mr. Bradford, do you understand the charges against you? Colton mumbled something. Speak up. Yes, Your Honor. Do you understand that if convicted, you face up to 7 years in prison? This time, his yes was barely a whisper. Bail is set at $500,000. Trial date in 6 weeks. As they led Colton away, he looked at Destiny. She met his gaze steadily, without hatred or satisfaction, just acknowledgement. Actions had consequences. Outside, she finally addressed the media. Phoenix stood behind her like a sentinel as she spoke clearly into the microphones. "I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor. What happened to me happens to disabled students everywhere. The difference is, this time, people watched. This time, there's video. This time, we fight back." "What's your message to other bullying victims?" CNN asked. "Document everything. Tell everyone. Don't let them silence you. And remember, the bullies are the weak ones. It takes strength to survive what we survive every day." The interview went viral within hours. Destiny Strong became a movement. Schools across the country started reviewing their bullying policies. Disability rights organizations rallied behind her. But the best part came 3 days later. Phoenix had been secretive. Working with his MIT friend and some military contractors, he'd told Destiny to invite whoever she wanted to the garage for a reveal. She invited her AP history class, some reporters, and surprisingly, Trinity Morrison, the freshman who'd apologized. "Ladies and gentlemen," Phoenix announced like a game show host, "I present the Destiny One." He pulled off a tarp, revealing a wheelchair that looked like it came from a sci-fi movie. Carbon fiber frame in purple, her favorite color. Holographic controls, all-terrain wheels, solar panels for backup power. "Is that?" Trinity gasped. "Is that military-grade armor plating?" "Yep. This chair could take a direct hit from a baseball bat and laugh." Phoenix demonstrated the features. GPS tracking, emergency alert system, built-in phone and tablet, heated seats, cooling system, and my personal favorite, a dash cam that records everything in 4K. Destiny rolled forward in her old chair, tears streaming. "Phoenix, this must have cost $47,000, he said proudly. "Donations poured in after your interview. Disabled veterans groups, tech companies, even some Hollywood types. Turns out, people want to support heroes." As she transferred into the new chair, it adjusted automatically to her body. The controls responded to her slightest touch. She did a spin, then accelerated smoothly across the garage. "How fast does it go?" 20 miles per hour. "But there's a governor on it. Don't want you drag racing." The reporters were snapping photos, already composing headlines about the super chair or wheelchair of the future. But Trinity asked the important question. What happened to Grayson and Blake? Destiny's expression sobered. Grayson pled guilty. 2 years probation, 300 hours community service at disability organizations. Blake's fighting it, but his family already moved away. And Colton, trial starts next month. While the trial was a media circus, Mayor Bradford had hired the best lawyers money could buy, but they couldn't overcome video evidence and 17 prior complaints. Destiny testified for 3 hours, calm and articulate, detailing years of harassment. Other students followed kids who'd been too scared before, but found courage in her example. The defense tried everything, attacking her character, suggesting she provoked it, even claiming the wheelchair was overpriced. Each attempt backfired spectacularly. When Colton took the stand, his lawyers had coached him to cry, to apologize, to beg forgiveness. But his performance fell flat when Martinez asked one simple question. If there hadn't been cameras, would you feel sorry? His hesitation spoke volumes. The jury deliberated for 2 hours. guilty on all counts. Judge Blackmon's sentencing made headlines. "Mr. Bradford, you targeted someone you perceived as weak. You were wrong. Destiny Washington is stronger than you'll ever be." 4 years in state prison, followed by 5 years probation. As they led him away, Colton's mother, who'd sat through every day despite the divorce, mouthed, "I'm sorry," to Destiny. Mayor Bradford resigned the next day, citing family considerations. The real reason was the recall petition with 30,000 signatures. 6 months later, Jefferson High was unrecognizable. Principal Coleman's replacement, Dr. Angela Rivers, had implemented every change Destiny requested and more. Bullying reports dropped 90%. The school won a state award for inclusivity. Destiny had become a national advocate, speaking at schools and conferences. Her TED Talk, "Rolling Forward: How a Wheelchair Became My Weapon," had 5 million views. But the most meaningful moment came on a quiet Tuesday afternoon. She was leaving AP History when someone called her name. Grayson Mitchell stood in the hallway, wearing a volunteer shirt from the local disability center. Destiny, could I talk to you?" She nodded, and Phoenix, who still accompanied her, occasionally stepped back. "I've been volunteering at the center for 4 months now," Grayson said, "working with kids who just got their chairs, teaching them basketball, helping with daily stuff. I wanted to thank you. Thank me. For making me face what I was, what I did. I was heading down Colton's path. Prison or worse. You saved me from that." Destiny studied him. The arrogant boy who'd kicked her wheelchair control panel was gone. This Grayson had humility in his eyes. "You saved yourself," she said finally. "You made different choices, because you showed me choices have consequences." He pulled out an envelope. "I've been saving money. Working construction after school. It's not much, 3,000, but I want to contribute to your chair fund for other students." She accepted the envelope. "Thank you, Grayson." As he walked away, Phoenix rejoined her. "That was generous. After everything." "A people can change," Destiny said. "Not all of them, but some. That's what hope looks like." The school year ended with Destiny as salutatorian. She would have been valedictorian. But missing classes for advocacy work had affected her GPA. She didn't mind. Her speech wasn't about grades anyway. 10 months ago, I crawled across this cafeteria floor," she told the packed auditorium at graduation. "Today, I roll across this stage in a chair that represents not just mobility, but possibility. Technology built by love, funded by compassion, protecting me while I protect others." She looked at the underclassmen section, finding Trinity and others who'd joined her advocacy group. To those still fighting battles, document everything. Speak truth. Find allies. And remember, they can break our equipment, but they can't break our spirit. The standing ovation lasted 10 minutes. That night, at the Washington House, Phoenix found Destiny on the porch, watching the sunset. "Proud of you, Des. Couldn't have done it without you." "Sure you could. I just expedited things." He sat beside her. "What's next? College, law school, world domination." She laughed. "Stanford for computer science. I want to design affordable wheelchairs, ones that every kid can access, not just those with viral stories and GoFundMe pages. Changing the world, one chair at a time." Something like that. She paused. "Phoenix, that day in the cafeteria, were you really not going to hit them?" He grinned. "Oh, I wanted to. Had 17 different ways planned out. But then I saw you crawling with your head high, turning weakness into strength, and I realized you didn't need me to fight your battle. You needed me to make sure it was a fair fight. And now you don't need me at all. You've got your super chair, your movement, your future. I'm just the proud big brother. As stars appeared in the Texas sky, destiny reflected on the journey, from the cafeteria floor to the graduation stage, from victim to advocate, from broken chair to revolutionary technology. Colton Bradford would serve his time. Maybe learn something, maybe not. The mayor would fade into obscurity. Grayson would continue volunteering, building a better version of himself. But Destiny Washington would roll forward, at 20 miles per hour when needed, changing the world for every disabled kid who'd been told they didn't belong. Because sometimes the greatest revenge isn't violence or hatred. Sometimes it's living so well, achieving so much, and lifting so many others that your bullies become footnotes in your success story. And, as Phoenix often said, quoting their father, "The best warriors win without fighting. But when you must fight, make sure the whole world watches." The world had watched, and Destiny Washington had won. Years later, Dr. Destiny Washington returned to Jefferson High as commencement speaker, rolling onto stage in her revolutionary wheelchair design that had helped millions worldwide. She looked at the graduating class and smiled. Sometimes the greatest victories come not from fighting back, but from rising so high that those who pushed you down become irrelevant footnotes in your success story. Never let anyone destroy your wheels, build wings instead. But this isn't about me, Destiny continued. It's about every person who's been told they don't belong, every student who's been pushed down, every human being who's had their dignity challenged. She paused, looking directly at the camera broadcasting her TED Talk to millions. To the bullies watching this, thank you. You taught me that rock bottom is just a foundation to build an empire on. To the victims, document everything. Speak up. Fight back legally. And remember, they can break our equipment. They can break our bodies. But they can never break our spirit. The standing ovation lasted 15 minutes, somewhere in a small apartment. Grayson Mitchell watched on his phone, smiling. He'd just been accepted to law school, specializing in disability rights. Change, real change, starts with one person refusing to stay down.